You about if you could give that has brought up this success for Sweden, I would say like compared to other countries, and advice on countries like Bangladesh where we could use this experience from Sweden to regulate our antibiotics use.
Yeah, that would be okay. Well, I've been working in Sweden for many years, and I was also responsible to setting up the Swedish antibiotic policy on behalf of the Swedish government. Sweden is a rich country, a small country, a well-organized country. What we have been doing that I think could have some sort of general sort of implications for other countries is that you need to measure. Without measuring, you cannot see whether you are gaining results and moving towards your target. So you need to measure antibiotic use to find ways of collecting data for what magnitude you have on the antibiotic use. You also need to measure resistance levels so that you can follow those. That could guide you in your policy work, and this is where we started. And then you need to sort of have a political commitment behind you. But of course, experts, researchers, also civil society organizations need to take the lead in the work. But there need to be an annual plan. And then in Sweden we have set targets for antibiotic use, which is working, and we can see how we can improve antibiotic use over time by doing this. Also, infection prevention and control in hospitals, in the community is an essential part of this. Of course, prevention is a key factor. But there is no one size fits all. All the elements in the fight against antibiotic resistance is really generic. So every country needs at the end do everything. But of course, the starting points will be very different. So I think measuring. So the government in all countries, including Bangladesh, of course, has the responsibility to secure access to effective antibiotics to the population. But that is much more difficult in a country which is having sort of another health system and another capacity financially and economically and so on. So you have to start with probably much smaller means, but I think that the government need to take the lead, identifying civil society organizations, professional organizations, individuals that could be given a mandate and a small sort of financial resources to put up networks, and on behalf of the government start the process on measuring and leading to a wider process on how to identify the components that need to be in place. The guidance here is of course also to work together with the WHO, because in the global action plan that was adopted by WHO in 2015, there is guidance on what should be happening in the country and what kind of components need to be addressed. So I think to end this, I think what is really important is that you need from the very start to see the problem in all its aspects, to see it as a broad, holistic issue that is not only including the ministries of health and the ministries of agriculture, but also the ministries of environment, finance, education, and so forth, so that everyone is on board with this. Then you need to start somewhere, but still you need to have the broader perspective. And what we are promoting here in REACT is a model for the future. Let's say that we will get new antibiotics. We hope so. We don't know whether the pharmaceutical industry, together with academia and supported by public funding, will really give us new antibiotics. We hope so. But if those antibiotics come out to the market, we need to have a new system that we can preserve them better. So I think we need to avoid sales as a driver. There need to be instead public funding to maybe to buy out these antibiotics and preserve it in the hands of the public sector. But in countries, in low-income countries where there are weaker health systems, we need also to secure sufficient access, but also try to avoid excess use. And that is a tricky balance that is in the hands of the governments. And it's difficult, we know, but having the whole perspective from innovation to production and to distribution and controlled use is for us a view of the problem, and not neglecting the animal sector and the environment here.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your time.